Now you said earlier about your father being proud. I'm going to go back. I mean, how were you influenced most by your father?
It's hard to talk about. My father's name was Robert Joseph Yates Sr. Everybody called him Snow. His nickname was Snow. He was probably one of the strangest people you've ever seen in all your life. No matter who you were, once you met Snow, you were a different person. Number one, he gave everybody a name, a nickname. He never called anybody by their real name. He had a deep baritone voice. He could have sang at the Met, for all I know. But he was absolutely one of the most fun loving people you could ever meet. He could do anything. He taught all of us how to do electrical work, how to do plumbing work, how to do carpentry, how to work on an automobile. I mean, anything that was broken, he could fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he taught all of us how to do the same thing. He always seemed to take pride walking the street, holding the hands of his two oldest boys. And of course, my brother Clarence would be right behind us. But he seemed to always enjoy being with us and telling us stories about how he grew up, the kinds of things that he did. Snow was an interesting person. Um, I met many of the guys who worked with him. They used to have a carpool when they drove to Naval Air Station back. And they would tell stories about Snow and his naming people, calling them different names. He would see somebody and he said that he called them, gave them a name according to the way they looked. Well, I remember a guy he used to call Mr. Sausage Jar. And my mind just kind of, now how on earth would he come up with a name like that? And why? But, you know, he was a tremendous influence on all of us. And everybody who knew him absolutely loved him. We would sit on the front porch at night, and in the middle of the night after dinner, he would sing songs and he'd teach us these songs. And folk in the neighborhood would love to just sit on their porches and hear us harmonize singing these songs. It, it was, it was unreal. I mean, it was something, and even to this day, Gwen will tell you, when I'm around the house working, especially out in the backyard, I'm singing all the time. And those memories from my childhood just seem to flow all the way through. Remembering Snow and the songs that he used to sing, he'd always sing when he was working. He wasn't the easiest person to learn under. I can recall a number of instances when we were working on the car. He taught us how to drive. You drove the car and something happened to it, you fixed it. Now, he would tell you how, but you did the actual work. And when we were young, when we were very little, before we could drive, growing up, and he would be working on his car, he would have us hold the flashlight for him so that he could see what he was doing. And being young, you know, we would sort of doze off and the light would move off the subject that he was working on. And he'd say, "Son, if you can see it, I can see it." You know, we were sleepy. I mean, it was late at night and that sort of thing. He was a hard taskmaster, but when he taught you a lesson, you learned it and you didn't forget it. And we always appreciated that, even to this day. In fact, I taught my children uh, just about everything I know. My daughter right now can do electrical work. She can do plumbing. I mean, she learned the kind of things that I learned. So growing up with that guy was just an absolute delight. And all the kids in the neighborhood loved him. They would come to our house just to enjoy being around Snow, I think. I don't know whether I don't know that we made that much impression on them. They liked Snow. They wanted to be around him. He did cookouts for us. He would dig a pit in the ground and we would barbecue a goat. I don't know why he did it in the ground, why he did the goat in the ground. But we had crab boils and that sort of thing in the backyard. He just made life interesting for us. And the things he taught us, the kinds of things that he used to do, to this day, we do the same thing. We did it for our kids, and now we enjoy doing those same things for our grandkids.